So we're get into a little bit about Hollywood Boulevard. Now, I always used to hang out on Hollywood Boulevard, and my main interest was researching the 1960s and 70s. Um, I always did interviews with a lot of different people, and like a lot of people see me do interviews with rappers and stuff like that. People from the street never really impressed me, even though I'm related to people from the street or even casual, hardworking people, 9 to 5, honest type people from the street. I always like to look to people who lived, in an era that was different than mine, like people who lived in the 60s and 70s or the 80s, maybe, or the 50s or whatever. And so I used to just go walking around Hollywood and walk around West Hollywood through the Laurel Canyon area or not. And I remember Jordan Master was one of the people that I hung out with in the Hollywood area. But I remember I met Kenneth Anger one time. I was walking down the street, and out of coincidence, I just bumped into him. And as soon as I seen him, I knew who he was because I had been a fan of his films. I had been researching into the 60s with Manson and all that stuff. So I just knew who he was. You know what I mean? And that was pretty interesting. Um, there were a lot of older people in the Hollywood area that I'd bump into and I'd talk to from time to time. And I would sit there and learn as much as I can. And it just I'm trying to think. Michigan, man, Michigan's all right, but I always really enjoy it going to the West Coast and enjoying myself, especially on the area that they call Billy, the House of Blues, the playground. That always was a place I enjoyed. Um, it's funny because a lot of the people that I met, the Angelinos, they wouldn't know what I was talking about. I'd be talking about the 1950s or 1960s. They couldn't comprehend what I was saying. Like the Hollywood sign used to be Hollywood Land, and it came down back in the 30s and it's supposedly a landslide. Um, like Bugsy Siegel used to run the Hollywood Hills at one time, and a lot of Angelinos didn't know about that. He was a Jewish gangster, but he ran the Hollywood Hills and all that stuff, running gambling joints and whatnot. And so I used to read all these old books from the 1800s and learn about the immigrants that came into LA, the German immigrants. You know how the Nazis had a compound on Rustic Canyon and Laurel Canyon, and so that was interesting. And so, looking at, do I have any more guests coming up?